you, show you what this waistline do all sorts of things to you. I wanna make you my boo. Now I want to wine on you, show you what this body do. Put this body.
What is up, you guys? It's Dee. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are doing another episode of a guide to natural hair. And today's main topic is basically going to be about porosity, because porosity is actually one of the most essential things that you need to learn about your hair to help you grow your hair, because it actually tells you how to go about treating and managing your hair. So yes, your hair chart is basically a reference guide to how your hair might look like when it comes to certain hairstyles. But your hair porosity will basically tell you how to take care of your hair and also how to grow your hair. So let's talk about what is hair porosity. So hair porosity is basically the ability of your hair to absorb and retain moisture and products. So in a simple way, here's how we're going to do it. So your hair, right, each strand has what we call a cuticle or multiple cuticles, okay? And this is basically a doorway. This door is what basically enables your hair to absorb and retain moisture. Now, sometimes your door doesn't want to open. Sometimes you need to beg it to open, right? And that is low porosity. And sometimes your hair, the door is always open. It never closes. It's always welcome, 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 welcome. Everyone can come in and everyone can come out whenever they want. And that is high porosity. And sometimes your hair listens. That door, when the hair product is like, Coco, the cuticle opens up its door and it's like, well, welcome. And sometimes it's like, well, get out. I'm tired of you. Okay. And that is basically normal hair. It knows when to open and it knows when to close. Now, I also want to state that your hair porosity can change over time based on how you take care of your hair and also the type of chemical treatments that you use on your hair, right? The same way your hair type can change over time. I don't think I mentioned this in my previous video, but your hair type can also change. Your hair type, you can move from being a type A to a type, from type 1 to a type 3 on using chemicals. The same way you can go from type 4 to type 1 using chemical processes. Okay, so it's the same thing with hair porosity. The more you color your hair, the more you heat your hair up, the more you do weird funny things that is not supposed to be done to natural hair, the more chances of your hair's porosity changing. Like for instance, I dyed my hair. I feel like before I dyed my hair, I was a normal hair I had normal hair porosity. Then after I dyed my hair, hey Jesus hey, it's a very sad story. It actually became high porosity because now my hair dries up relatively quickly, although it absorbs products relatively well, but it dries up extremely fast. So I always have to spray my hair with water. I always have to, do the doing things. Okay. So now that I've explained porosity, let's go and talk about all these other these categories. Okay, so we've got low porosity. So low porosity means that your hair doesn't actually absorb product or moisture relatively quick. So you need to essentially beg your hair to absorb product. You need to do that. And obviously, another thing that I also want to point out is that so I don't have low porosity. I genuinely haven't had anybody. I don't think I know anybody who's got low porosity or had conversations with a person who's got low porosity and how they go about taking care of their hair. So I would obviously suggest that if you have low porosity, it's important that whenever you're looking at hair tutorials and stuff like that, you look at people's videos who've got low porosity. That way it can help you to achieve the hair the desired hairstyle that you're looking for. Because sometimes I know that it's very disappointing to go on YouTube and you want to try out somebody's hair tutorial, and then when you do it, it ends up coming out in the worst absolute way. So you need to know. And then you've got medium or normal hair porosity. Now, medium normal hair porosity means that your hair, it doesn't have in fact, you know what, just go to bed. You don't have problems in this life. Just go, gaan slap. No, asseblief. Okay, Then you've got high porosity. Now I have high porosity now ever since I've dyed my hair. My hair is, let's not even go into it, okay? So this generally means that your hair actually gets wet quickly, or it actually absorbs hair products relatively quickly and moisture, but it also loses it as fast as it gets it. Okay? While with low porosity, you need to bag it. You need to bag. So another thing is, hair porosity is relatively different to everybody, because I may be 4C and you may be 4C, but I may have high porosity, you may have normal porosity, and the third person who's also a 4C hair may have low porosity. So this thing of being like, oh, it's type 4C hair, we all have low porosity. Shut up. Shut up. Keep quiet. Not all of us have low porosity, and not all of us have normal porosity, and not all of us have high porosity. And yes, porosity can change based on how you take care of your hair. The more damage you put in your hair, the more chances your hair might also change its porosity. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, out of the table, we can move on to the next thing. So how to go about testing hair porosity. Now I'm familiar with 3 ways to test it. The first one I did it with my sister when I was I think it was in 2018, yes, because I was staying in Johannesburg at that time. So this one is called the float test method, which essentially means that you take a glass, right? You take a glass, you fill it up with water, right? I'm not particularly sure if a certain temperature is required, but you basically take a glass and you fill it up with water. You take a strand of your hair. You can pluck hair out from your scalp, or you can take hair from your comb and you can put it inside a glass. Then if your hair floats, it means that your hair has a low porosity and it cannot absorb this water or product. If your hair is in the middle of the glass, so basically you have to leave it for like 2 to 4 minutes, right, to get accurate reading. So if your hair is in the middle of the glass, it means that you have medium porosity or normal porosity, meaning that your hair knows when to behave, it knows when to absorb, and it knows when to stop. Okay, and then if your hair sinks to the bottom, it means that you have high porosity. It means that your hair absorbs water extremely quickly or moisture extremely quickly, and chances of it losing it is as fast as it went down. Okay, so another method is called, what is it called? It's called the slip and slide test. So essentially what you want to do is you want to take a strand of your hair. Now let's pretend I have a strand of my hair, and you want to just kind of like pull it to, outward, and then you want to take your other hand, right, use your index and your thumb finger, and you just want to go from the tip of your head or the tip of your strand towards the root of your strand, right? Now, if you feel that your strand is slightly bumpy, then it means that you have high porosity. It means that all your doors are open, so therefore you can actually absorb water. However, if you slide towards the root of your hair and it is very smooth, it means that you have low porosity. Therefore, your hair cuticles or your doors are closed, locked and loaded. Okay, so obviously you will need to do further research as to how to go about taking care of your hair, but this is basically a video how to identify your porosity. As for how to go and taking care of your hair, like I said, I don't have low porosity. I've never actually experienced low porosity, and I don't want to be indulging you guys with advices of things that I've never actually tried out on my own hair, because I just feel like, I really don't know what I'm talking about if I'm going to tell you, oh, you should use coconut oil if you have more porosity, but I don't have low porosity, and I don't even know if coconut oil works on low porosity hair. So you get what I'm trying to say, right? So the other method that you could try is basically when you go to the shower, or when you shower, or when you start to wash your hair, how long does it take for your hair to get wet? So if your hair gets wet now, it means that you have high porosity. If your hair relatively takes its time, but it actually does get wet in a shorter period of time, then it means that you have got normal hair porosity. And if your hair takes relatively long to get wet, then it means that you have low porosity. If you still have to go in there, open the channels, and do the doing things, then it means that your hair has low porosity. So I hope this video was informative. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you are notified each time I upload a video. I hope this video did the doing things. Don't forget to also do the doing things. Toodles!